Next on Worcester News tonight, no appeal coming. The city weighs its options after a federal judge strikes down Worcester's panhandling ordinances. And the Worcester City Council election has come to an end. We'll explain next. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. The City Council election results have become final tonight after candidates Juan Gomez and Christian King withdrew their petitions for a recount. King won the sixth and final at-large seat on the City Council, beating Gomez by 77 votes. Following the election, Gomez and King both collected signatures for petitions for a recount. Today, Gomez released a statement saying, in part, "We concede that the recount alone was not likely to shed light on all the irregularities we contend took place during this past election, nor by itself would have caused to overturn such. Given these circumstances and after consulting legal counsel, we feel it's in the best interest of our city, our citizens, and our voters to call off the recount." King withdrew petitions soon after. He's set to join the City Council in January. A judge in New York has ordered a suspect accused of stealing weapons from a Massachusetts armory to be returned to the Bay State. James Morales appeared in a New York courtroom Friday afternoon. FBI agents arrested the 34-year-old in New York Wednesday. The former Army reservist is accused of stealing 10 pistols and 6 M4 rifles from the Worcester Reserve Center. Authorities aren't sure of Morales' motives, but say he is accused in a child rape case in Cambridge and was out on bail at the time. The City of Worcester will not appeal a federal judge ruling on 2 city panhandling ordinances. The judge ruled the ordinances are unconstitutional and violate free speech. Friday, City Manager Ed Augustus released a statement saying the city remains concerned about public safety issues surrounding aggressive panhandling, but the ordinances is unlikely to be successfully defended in court. So the manager says after talking with city councilors, the city will not appeal the federal court ruling. It's been 1 week after the terror attacks in Paris, and today the tragedy in Paris grew. One more person died from their injuries suffered in the attack, raising the death toll to 130. Also today, a third person remains were found in the apartment building in the Paris suburb of Saint-Denis. Police raided that building earlier this week. The person is a woman, but her identity is not certain, and French authorities now say they have carried out nearly 800 raids since last week's attacks. The Assumption College community comes together for a prayer vigil 1 week after the terrorist attacks in Paris. Our Andy Madison was there and brings us a story of one professor's connection to France.
Trying to go against these attacks as a unified people.
Students and faculty at Assumption College joined in prayer 1 week after more than 100 people were killed in Paris.
Pray for all those victims who were injured and killed, and for all those families that they may find peace.
The college has a strong connection to France, both past and present.
There are 2 students from Assumption College who are studying in Paris right now as we speak, but they weren't near the attacks at all.
The attacks last week.
The attacks hit close to home for Professor Eric Drouart. Originally from France, he was in Paris with his wife when violence erupted in January.
This prayer vigil is very close to my heart because of the events that happened. It's the city of light, a city that represents, basic human values, liberties, equality, freedom.
They lit candles and signed an interfaith peace pledge while remembering the Paris victims and victims from other parts of the world. Last week's attacks have sparked a lot of discussion about security and ideology.
That we gather today.
Tonight's vigil aimed to keep the focus on peace.
It was beautiful seeing everyone from different religions, different ethnic groups, all converge into the chapel and just see how we could just help in any way.
Professor Drouart's thoughts are with his family in France.
They're doing okay. I think everybody's shaken.
Tragedy. Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
An emotional day at the Worcester County Courthouse. More than a dozen children were officially adopted into their forever homes. It's part of National Adoption Day. Our Patricia Nicholas spoke to a family and has our story.
After a 10-month-long process, 2-year-old Ray is now officially a member of the Looney's family.
We welcomed him into our home and treated him as our own, and when he became free for adoption, we knew that we wanted to have him forever.
The Looneys have been fostering children for more than 10 years. They have 4 biological children, and Ray is now their 3rd adopted child. The Looneys say they continue to adopt and foster because they have a lot of love to give. And for that, Raymond's biological grandparents say they are very thankful.
Raymond was placed with this wonderful family that he was lucky enough to be adopted by. So I not only got my grandson, but I have this huge family of people now.
According to the Mass Adoption Resource Exchange, out of the 7,000 children placed in foster care, more than 600 are waiting for an adoptive family. Friday morning, more than 130 in Massachusetts, just like Raymond, were adopted on National Adoption Day. The Looneys say fostering and adopting children has enriched their life.
Fostering, you see a lot of the bad stuff, but it's been the best thing we've ever done as a family.
Patricia Nicholas, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester police were on the scene of a rollover on Lincoln Street Friday afternoon. Police say the female driver of this car was taken to the hospital. The extent of her injuries are unknown. A portion of Lincoln Street was shut down for some time this afternoon. The accident is under investigation. Holy Cross students are launching a petition to keep next spring's graduation ceremony at Fitton Field on the school's campus. Right now, the commencement ceremony is slated to take place at the DCU Center. The reason is the college's backup indoor venue will be under construction as part of a planned renovation and expansion of the school's athletic facility. At last check, more than 900 people signed the petition. As a result, the school has opened a dialogue with the students about the changes being made. His arrest after a disruption at this week's Donald Trump rally is casting a spotlight on Peter Rondon's past. The Worcester man was 19 years old when he was charged with leaving a hoax device at a Marine recruiting station. Rondon says he's moved on since that past incident and had an important message to tell the Republican candidate. Our Kayla Mamlak has more.
The system's regulations on individuals who've committed a crime are so stringent and so confined that individuals are not allowed to move forward.
It's something Peter Rondon says Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump is making worse with his statements about undocumented immigrants. Rondon says Trump is making generalizations about Latinos.
We have some people in this country not supposed to be here. We're not putting them in our prison so that we can take care of them for the next 45 years. We're bringing them back where they came.
Rondon, who is half Puerto Rican and half Dominican, says he attended Trump's rally in Worcester Wednesday night with an open mind. But within the first half hour, this happened. Rondon was arrested after yelling Trump is a racist and getting physical with other people in attendance at the rally. The arrest put a spotlight on Rondon's past. 10 years ago, he was sentenced to jail and probation after leaving an incomplete bomb in a U.S. Marine Corps recruiting station. Rondon was a recruit at the time. Today, he admits to his mistake, saying he was young and struggling with personal issues.
I committed a crime. I admitted to that crime. I spent my time in prison that I needed to spend.
Isn't a Trump rally much more exciting than these other guys?
Rondon was in court Thursday on charges of trespassing and disorderly conduct. He says he was exercising his freedom of speech.
Once I did that, I felt this relief over me. I was able to say what I needed to say to an individual that was causing me mental distress.
Now, the judge did offer that Rondon just pay a fine of $50 due to civil infractions. He says he's unemployed and doesn't even have that money at this time. His next court date will be in January. In Worcester, Kayla Mamlak, Worcester News Tonight.
This month is Veterans Awareness Month, and today one event was trying to make it easier for veterans looking for work. Workforce Central Career Center put on its annual job fair for veterans at the Elks Lodge in Auburn. More than 40 companies were in attendance, offering a variety of jobs for different skill sets. Workforce Central says veterans bring their unique training to the workforce.
Employers are very specific to the skill set that they have, Second, they want to, honor the veterans, and in order for them to be able to get back into the civilian world after having served for the country for so many years.
Workforce Central says there are jobs available right now at many different skill levels for people who want to work. Well, with the holiday season right around the corner, the Worcester County Sheriff's Office is doing their part to make sure no one goes hungry. Compass Tavern was the location for tonight's celebration. Admission was a grocery bag of non-perishables or $5. The Sheriff's Office, along with the WPI fraternity and Price Chopper, have been collecting food for the last couple of weeks, with the proceeds being distributed to Friendly House. Tonight is a celebration of all the hard work that has gone into the food drive.
So it's just a culmination of what's been weeks of collecting food and then getting ready for Monday's distribution. And we have so many people that are helping us make this happen. And next week will be very special, especially on Thanksgiving week when so many families get a bag of food.
So far, they are projecting to be able to help more than 2,000 families.